Technical difficulties. Doesn't really matter. It'll take everybody forever to get here anyway, even if they come. So, all is good. I tried very hard to use my StreamYard, but that is not a go at this point in time. So, such is life, all well and good. I may go ahead and take a moment or two to share this with others. Hopefully you're doing well this evening. We're having a big full moon tonight. I'm just like not happy with how this image looks. It's like if I stay sitting up like this, I'm good, but if I relax at all, I slip down. I don't like that. Nonetheless, no worries. All right. I don't know if I think that I might actually turn myself around and do the other direction too, because the background is kind of like, yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I hope everyone's doing well this evening. I'm just going to monkeying with something on my device here. I just came forward to, oh shit, really loud. Share a little bit about the full moon. Okay. So, anyways, tonight is what's called the thunder full moon, which I'm not sure why they call it thunder, but all I do know about it is it's the closest that the moon will be to the planet Earth until next year this time. So once a year it gets as close as it's going to get, and tonight is that night. So anyways, a bunch of people popped in here and then popped out. Oh my goodness. Okay, probably just connection issues or something. Who knows? I don't know. But anyways, so how is everybody tonight? Hopefully they're doing well. Yeah, it's like 5 o'clock, so that's good. I'm just gonna share this in a couple of spots. Not that I have too many spots to share it in anymore. Kind of crazy, but wow, a bunch of people just, I'm kind of discombobulated. I need to focus. So let me do that real quick. Interesting. Forgive me. I'll be with you in just a moment. I know I'm terrible. Okay. All right. There we go. Just do that. So, full moon. Okay. Mostly, I wanted to get on today, yes, because of the full moon. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a releasing myself tonight. The full moon is a really good time to release. The energy of the full moon is basically, it's in its fullest state. And then the things that we want to put forward and plant and move forward is in the new moon, which is at its beginning state. So I'll get into the full moon in just a minute. What I wanted to share with you was, and it's not going to be very long because I know that I've been going through this, so I figured, hello, Miss Lisa. You made it to the live. Woohoo! Yeah, you and me. Looks like that's it. We're good. Is the outer not matching the inner right now? Now, I know for myself personally in my own journey, I find that I have moments where I really am having a difficult time experiencing the fact that the inner, all the inside work, internal work that has been done, and how my kingdom appears and is active within me doesn't match the outer. I am constantly getting beautiful information and confirmations and things coming forward of us moving into this beautiful next phase of connectivity, community, union, divine counterparts. The word wish fulfillment probably bothers some people, but just things that's in the hearts and that we have as true desires to our I am presence, whatever it is that each one of us individually desires. I don't know about you, but I've done an incredible amount of internal work, and I'm in this beautiful place within my own kingdom, and finding that on a daily basis, I do really well for a little while. And then I get frustrated with the fact that the outer is not looking like the inner. And all these things that I know in my heart are going to be, they're so strongly obvious to me in my heart. Hello, Todd. That I have a hard time not seeing them in the outer. It's so palpable within my inner kingdom that all these things that are in my desires for moving towards this fifth dimensional energy, new heaven, new earth, a much more beautiful, benevolent, kind, and balanced duality, all these things that are in my heart and for the good of the all and the one that we are. All these things that are in my heart are not the same as they are in the outer, but yet in the inner it's saying it's already done. Feeling palpably that everything is already finished, that we've already accomplished this, but yet having to consistently look out into the outer and not seeing what my heart is so ready to see, because it already sees it. So it's just wrestling with this idea of the moment that we're in now. So that's what I mostly wanted to come on. And then I will share with you what I'm going to do tonight in the full moon for myself. If it resonates, great. If not, I highly suggest if there's anything in your life that's not serving you, that you use tonight to release it. It's a very good game time sandbox toy, fun in the moonlight time to release. And it's just your intentions as the divine one that you are that creates this. But it's wonderful to have the beings of the moon and the earth and all the things that we utilize to play with to move these things forward. It's so much more fun than just sitting in a lotus position somewhere in the mountain somewhere in Buddha mode and just manifesting things just because you can. Because we can do that, but it's a lot more fun to play the game with the tools and the toys that we have, and the moon is one of them. All right, so it feels like these things that are in the inside, they're so obvious and so strong and so real that not seeing them in the outer is a very difficult thing to deal with, and it feels like it's such a long time off. And not only that, we are also getting thoughts and feelings, and it really helps to remember that you're the thinker, not the thoughts, and you're the feeler, not the feelings. I'm saying this to myself all the time, because as we process them through, it helps to kind of distance yourself from them by realizing that. But we're also getting thoughts that are reminding us that we are probably just crazy, and that we are just imagining this, and that we're not worthy enough to have all these things that we desire in our heart. Doesn't matter how much work we've done, doesn't matter how much we believe in it, it's not going to happen. And I hear this diatribe in my head on and off throughout this process. So I just thought I'd jump in here and be in real time, completely naked with you and share that with you. I know in the spiritual communities, there's a lot of love and light. And there's a lot of, depictions of people in their bliss on the beach with their counterpart. Everything's perfect. They've got all the money they need. Everything's wonderful. And then there are those of us that are on the spiritual journey, and we see that, and we got 2 pennies to rub together and no vehicle, and our counterpart is still MIA, and we struggle with thoughts, and we have these things coming through that it's really easy for this beautiful image to be depicted to give you this sense of comparison. Beloved sister of mine brought this up, and she's exactly right. Everything is being presented right now to get us to compare our inner kingdoms to the outer, or to someone else's kingdom, or to whatever's happening that doesn't look right to us. So we've got to throw comparison out the window. Okay, so there's a few little points that came to me this morning that are very assistive in this now moment, as you're staying in the now moment, but you're looking in the outer, and everything you feel in your heart is not matching up. I do see it speeding up. I do see things coming to pass that didn't come to pass before, but it isn't what is here in the profoundness that it's here. So it's difficult, and I do find myself being in that space where I'm like, ugh, how long do I have to sit in this limbo? Because it's what it feels like. We're in this vague, beige, dull waiting period, like we're in an elevator that's been stuck for what? Ever now? That's how it feels to me. I don't know if you relate, but if you do, great. You're in the right place. Okay, so being patient. In the now moment, it's not so hard to be patient because everything in the now moment is perfect. You're fully, look at us. We're having this little conversation. I'm filming in front of you. You're sitting there listening to me. Everything is fine. We're fully covered. We're fully protected. We have everything we need. I'm not starving. You're not starving. I have water. I can breathe. I'm safe. The now moment cares for itself. So it's easy to be patient in the now moment when you look at it that way, but not always. especially when you have a really big heart as we do, and really big hope as we do, and really big expectation as we do. So be patient. This realm, the third and fourth dimensional earth, is the last place to have manifestations catch up. We have done so much work, and in all the other dimensional aspects that you are a part of, as the very large I am presence that you are, these things are occurring. They're actually taking place. They're actually manifest in physical reality. This is the last arena, the last game front, if you will, that it will be present. It's almost like it's the last phase of it. So that's why we're feeling it multidimensionally, so perfected, so well done within, but yet not seeing it in the outer just yet, because it hasn't shown up here. Energetically, that's all. It is absolutely as it feels within your kingdom. Believe me. So that comes to the next step, is trusting the process. And I know, I just went over this again myself this morning. How many times do I have to stand in this place and be patient and trust the process? Well, until you don't. That's all I can say. What if we're just 5 nanoseconds right before the big thing, the whole thing just comes into play and is perfectly set up the way that we see it in our hearts? What if we're in that moment right before that happens? We could be in that moment at any given time. So be patient and trust the process. Follow the highest vibrational involvement, and I'm about to sneeze, so I apologize. I don't know when it's going to happen, but sorry. I hope I didn't blow your ears off. A little bit of dust today. Follow the things that keep you in that space of joy and happiness. So what that can look like is stay in that space and be sure that you stay in the now moment and that you check in with yourself all the time. Every moment that you can think, check in with yourself, to take a climate check as to how you are feeling in this now moment, while you're trusting, while you're being patient, while you're holding on to all the internal work that you've done that you know is very real and palpable. Check in with yourself. And this can be things like, if you wake up one day and you really feel like you just want to be by yourself and hang out and listen to music, do it. Someone calls you and says, hey, you want to hang out? You really don't feel like spending energy with someone else? Don't. If you have lunch and you get done with your lunch and you think to yourself, what do I want to do? I'm really tired. I think I feel like having a nap. Have one. You know what sounds really good to me is I'd like to really ride my bike down to the corner and get an ice cream. Do it. Be very mindful as you're trusting and being patient to do the things that bring you into that place of joy in self. And this is kind of the space that we need to be patient and in trust and remaining in this interim. And I know just yesterday and today, just in that space again, especially when I see things that look like a glimmer of what's going on inside my kingdom, and then it turns out to be something different than that coming to pass. Just looked like it, just showed me it's possible, gave me a little glimmer. So when these things come about and your hope and your joy and your desire come into play and you see something that looks like that, we're not married to the outcome, so we can release that. But then I always end up back in this place and go, okay, I know this every day. Every now moment, I know. I just expect to see all of this be right around the corner because of how real it feels within my heart. So being patient, trusting the process, checking in with self, and doing in the now moment, not tomorrow, not yesterday, in this now moment, what brings you joy and peace and happiness. And even if the things that are happening around you are not happening around you, as they are in my case, don't bring you that excited joy. Do things that bring you peace until those things come to pass in the physical, in the outer, as we wait for the game to catch up to us. Because we're really awesome, and it's taking the Earth arena a little bit of time to catch up to all the beautiful things we've been doing. Okay. Okay. Also be very mindful to pay attention to anything that moves you away from or clogs up or congests your desire these things that are written within your heart for you to see, the things that you are being so that you will see them, whatever that is for you. It could be that you have it in your heart to begin a community where everyone can come to receive X, Y, and Z. It could be that you want to move somewhere completely solitary, have your own space, and be in, to your meditation space. It could be that you are in absolute mad love with your inner divine feminine masculine balance, and you are looking for that counterpart to manifest in the outer. It could be anything, whatever is written on your heart, whatever that desire is. Be very careful and mindful while you're in this patient place, in this trusting the process place, and you're doing self-check-in regularly. Be very careful not to take part in and allow things in your auric field that are going to clog and congest your desires. Even the very closest person to you, someone who you absolutely adore and energetically are getting on with very beautifully. Not even that one. Don't let anyone else's perceptions or their ideas about what they're doing in their kingdom, or if they share their ideas of what they see in yours, derail you from what you know your desire is. Because everybody's doing it different out there. And even that example that I gave of the people on the beach, in perfect bodies with all the, they've got all the resources covered, they're madly in love and everything looks blissfully wonderful. I'm not negating that that's a lot of people's paths. And it could be absolutely accurate, and they've actually brought themselves to that place, and it's actually very real for them. You see, they need to follow their bliss, their space, their desire in their heart. That's what you need to do. That's what I need to do. And I did in the last 72 hours, kind of in the idea that I wanted to, always self-check to make sure that I'm on track, partly, but it's also because sometimes when you have people that are close to you and they make suggestions or they say something, you go in and you examine yourself and you're like, well, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's what it is. But don't try on anybody else's desires. You've got to be you. And as a dear sister of mine always says, you be you, boo. That's all you got to do. Okay? So don't get involved in anything that derails for you from what you know your desire is. And you know what it is. It doesn't matter how absurd it sounds to someone else, how crazy they think you are, or how, it just doesn't match. And that's, once again, we get back to that, what I said in the beginning about that comparison. You are a specific and unique individuation of the aspect of source creation, God, goddess, whatever it is that you use as a verbiage to describe that I am, that I am. You are that individuated aspect. And this energy can only expand itself to the degree that it desires to do so through you by you being you, no matter what. And that also means that we can't F this up. We can't screw up. You just do you. And however that comes out in the wash is exactly as it should be for that expansion and experience and the higher self knowing thyself in just another aspect, which is wonderful. So you just be you and do you. Don't let anyone else, and yourself included, don't compare yourself to others. Don't let that happen. Your journey looks like your journey. And even if you have the craziest idea about what's written in your heart, keep it, follow it. You'll know because you'll get excited. You know when you're true to your heart. When you start to derail things, when you start to move away from the desire pattern that's within you, you'll feel it, you'll be deflated. You won't have that energy, you won't have that boost like that little child that gets up on Saturday morning and is super excited because they know that the whole world awaits and there's a million things that could happen. You'll know when you're in the desire of your heart and in your kingdom because you will have energy and joy and peace and love, and you'll just get up thinking things are absolutely as they should be. So stay on point with your desires. Very, very important. Let's see, yes. Pour all of your frequency, all of yourself, all of your beauty, and continue to do that as we trust, as we're patient, as we're checking in. Pour into the unseen. And I promise you, and I'm promising myself at the same time I'm speaking to you, the unseen will become the seen. And I know that we're in a time frame where it is a apparently lagging and not catching up to what's going on within our inner kingdoms. I am feeling an intensely, incredibly undeniable pull towards union and connectivity and community, and this hermit sparseness that we've all gone through to do these things that we have done within ourselves. I feel it. It's done. It's over. I am drawn to community and connection. I want to be with my tribe in the 3D without this thing right here. I don't want to be on this thing anymore. I want to be in 3-dimensional real connectivity. I can feel that it's time for that. It feels like it's past time for that, like it should already be. And I'm looking around me, and you see how many people are in this room? It ain't a be yet. But what I'm doing, as I reminded myself today and I'm sharing with you, is I'm going to pour all of my frequency into the unseen that's in here because I know it's real, and into my desire, my heart blueprint, my soul song. And I do believe it, and I do know that the unseen will become the seen. And I'm reminding myself to be patient and trust the process. So that's the biggest reason why I wanted to come on today. And then once again, it always comes back. It comes back to one of my favorite things that Yeshua would tell everyone. He always turned everyone back inside of themselves, always pointed to themselves. Always. It may not have sounded like it to somebody, always did. Seek first the kingdom, this within. Pour everything into the unseen, and all will be added. It will become seen. It will. It already is. And I think for me, that's the hardest point for me. Yes, it absolutely does, right? You're right, Todd. I am feeling that this thing right here is actually reducing my energetic expression. Hence the reason why I hardly put video. I'd only put videos out maybe once a week, if that. And I also don't want to interact with people on Discord or through Telegram or any other venues that you use, because I can feel the energetic draw. This phase is over. It's done. It's just we're waiting for catch-up. Absolutely. So you seek that kingdom. And see, this was spoken in frequency by a master thousands of years ago. So yeah, we got to wait a minute while this earth paradigm catches up. It's going to be okay. When you stay in the now moment's always perfect. It's always completely cared for. It's always exactly as it should be. So this is a really good thing. The now moment is very assistive. And I don't know if I said it in my last video or if I said it on TikTok or both, but I'll say it again. There's something beautiful that you need to recognize about the now moment. And it's always been this way, but there's just something very forefront for me. That the minute that you stop yourself and you stay only focused in this now moment, you are connecting with every multidimensional aspect of yourself with a capital S. Every part of your multidimensionality that is in all these scenarios, all throughout all these galaxies, all these dimensions, in countless amounts of interactions. When you focus on the now moment, and we're not thinking of anything except for right now, and we breathe with that intention, that we're connecting with right now, breathing in through the third eye as opposed to breathing in through the human lungs. When we do that, we instantly are fully in alignment with all those dimensions, Akashic records. It's kind of like, I know I've said this before, it's just like Neo when he downloaded everything and he instantly could become a karate expert, firearms, singer, whatever it is. You have access to every incarnation you've ever had any part of when you're in the now moment, right now. So everything that you divinely need to move this forward in the most fluid and eloquent way is available to you until the moment you start to think you're off track, you're concerned. All those things are outside of the now moment. The now moment is filled with peace and perfection, and it's fully cared for. Always. Always. That is just the way that it is. And I see that I've got 4 people in here, so that's kind of cool because I keep feeling like the fourth dimension. That's always the dimension outside of the third dimension. It's when people start even thinking there's something more than just this earth plane. Of course, there's many dimensions beyond that. And I don't know how long. I couldn't tell you how long. And in the now moment, there isn't a long, there's no time, so we don't have to be concerned with it, right? But I cannot tell you, I think for each individual as they move through their energetic story, it will be different. All I can tell you is to trust the process and be patient. So that being said, tonight is the full moon. In my area, it's going to be at its fullest peak at 11 o'clock tonight. Some places it's already been at its full peak, but that's just a matrix technicality. You don't even have to use the moon to do what I'm about to talk to you about. You could do anything. Your intention is what matters. But I find it fun to work with our sister moon and her energy because she is providing that. That's her role. That's her desire. That's her kingdom. She is providing these beautiful spiritual uplifts through us, as is the sun, to help us to move through this process, with a little more fluidity. So I like to utilize the things that are available to us in the form of guides and ancestors and angels and synchronicities and numbers. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm not going to go out at 11. I'm going to go out at 9 as soon as the moon is up and I can see it. And I've been working on this all day. I've kept it with me all day. I do have notes for tonight on here too. But I also have my other page that I just folded up. And I'll just show you what my scribble looks like real quick. No, if I could get the paper back on there, it would be helpful, wouldn't it? All right, so I've been keeping this, and I've just been writing everything down on it. I've just been writing all kinds of things down on there. So it's just things that I'm going to be releasing. Things that are old. We have to let go of the old in order for the new to come in. It's just how it works. And I'm really good at holding on to the old. I got words across my auric field today that really helped me. And maybe this will help you too, so I'll share it with you. I have a very expansive, large, powerful, potent, loving, grabby, holding on to, believy heart. It's a power in and of itself that I just ride along with it. That's how it feels like. So when it comes time for me to release things that I've invested in for long periods of time or even short periods of time, doesn't matter. If it's gotten in my heart, it's there. My heart wants to keep it there. It's a wrestling match for me to release. And I have a feeling it always will be. But my spirit guides and everyone who's working with me is always very good at finding the words to help me and circumstances to help me see it. And I heard it today this way. Let's say there's a circumstance that you are releasing and you're still very connected to it. You still have hopes for this circumstance to be a certain way, even though it isn't in the real time right now. And you can't seem to let go of it because you invested yourself in it, you believed in it, you had your full self in it. And you've had hope for it, and that hope is what kept it alive as long as it was alive. So there's something in you that says, but what if I'm just supposed to sit in this space and keep hoping for it, keep giving my energy to it, so that it will come to pass somewhere down the line, even though it's been 2 years or 1 year or 6 months, whatever, and it is obviously not coming to pass. You know what I'm talking about if this is in your heart. I know what it means for me. If there is the case in your heart for that, this is how it was put to me today. When that scenario, whatever scenario it is that you're holding on to, began, you begin investing in that, dreaming it up, writing that story as your creator self in an old version of yourself, 6 months, a year, 2 years ago, however long it was, that this particular scenario, and it could be a few scenarios, it doesn't just have to be one, it's a few for me. It was my old self, not the now moment self that I am right now, that begat that story. That didn't come to fruition, at least not in this now moment. It isn't, or I would not be having to release it. Do I want to continue with the story that my old energy wrote? As soon as it was put to me that way, my heart immediately, it was almost like it let go of the reins and went, oh, no, no, no. Would we write that story the same way now in the energy that we are in this now moment, in this new, expansive, more fully remembered self? Oh, no, no, no. I would not have written that the way that it was written, because this new moment is a new me moment. I am brand new in this moment, and I have ideas for new things. I do things newly. I do things differently. So can you release that story knowing that it is the story told by your old self? Or would you like to just keep reliving that story and staying in that old energy and having it pull on the new self that doesn't want to be in the old anymore? And for some reason, I don't know why, but hearing it that way about my old self writing the story, and this new self does not want to finish that story because she would have never written it that way in the first place, I was able to just go, pff. So I know tonight's going to be a full release. It's going to be very easy for me, which this isn't, like I described a few minutes ago, and I'm sure that there are those of you listening to this, that it's just you don't want to let go because you have this magnanimous heart that believes. So yes, it's warm in here. Whew. Like 90 plus degrees today. So I don't know if that helps you. It really helped me, and I've got all my stuff here, and I'm prepared, and I'll probably be write a few more things down before 9 o'clock. And then what I'm going to do with it, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to do this new thing that I heard about. I thought it sounded fun. I'm going to make some moon water. And as you're doing this release, you put water in a glass jar with a lid on it out in the moonlight overnight, and you get up in the morning and you drink it. And it's just an intention-based activity that says you're taking all that releasing energy into your being, into every cell of your body, for it to be a fully integrated as above, so below program. You're doing it in the ether, you're bringing it to the earth, it will be complete, so be it, and so it is. So that's what I'm going to do with that, and then I'm going to take my little list here, and because we have a fire ban right now, normally I burn these lists and watch the smoke go up, and that's my idea of understanding that it's being transmuted back into the light. I can't do that. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to let Mother take care of it. Last time I did it with water. This time I'm actually going to bury it in the earth. So I'm going to rip it into little tiny pieces, and I'm going to bury it in the earth and let Mom have it. So that it, once again, that's the way that I'm intending this process to take place, of complete and total release. So I encourage you to think up something in your own heart. You don't do anything at all. It's totally up to you, but it's something I'm doing, and I find that it's actually really powerful. Because once again, we're in this game for a reason. We're playing these parts for a reason. And when we engage these roles, as above, so below, on earth as it is in heaven, when we do the ethereal things, and then we bring them into this earth game tangibly, by doing things like lists, and moonlight, and water, and breathing, and eating, and communing, it connects them together in a symbiotic dance. So if that resonates, great. If it doesn't, great. Do you. You do whatever your heart tells you to, but be patient. Trust the process. Feed your inner bliss. Stay in this now moment and ask your multidimensional selves for assistance, and you will get information, and you will get things that work. So have a beautiful full moon, a wonderful 13th, and I probably will be maybe sharing again soon. I couldn't tell you when. But have a beautiful evening. I love you very much. I'm grateful for all of you, and I will talk to you soon.